What up, Shinigami Kai? Shinigami here, and welcome back to another episode of Black Belt Reviews. In case you can't see what that is, should give you a little hint today as to what I'm reviewing. Now, I originally wanted to do a Black Belt plays with the capture card I got. I can't get it to work where there's sound, and I can't get it to work where I'm recording with my camera and my mic and the capture card. So I'm trying to figure all of that out. If anybody has any advice on that, leave tips and or links to tutorials for me in the comments below, because I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to that. But in case you haven't figured it out yet, we are reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong, the fight of the century. A movie we've waited almost 60 years for. The remake of the original. Well, it's more, I don't know if I'd really say it's a direct remake, but it's definitely a much needed update to the original King Kong versus Godzilla, which was released in 1962. If you haven't seen the movie yet, it is going to be spoiler heavy. I will be showing clips of the fights. Hopefully I won't get demonetized or flagged for that, because fair use, it is a review. So, in fact, you know what? One of my favorite YouTubers to watch, Altiori, check out her channel. Use a lot more clips from the movie than I'm going to, and I'm sure she's fine. So, anyway. I will say that there's one complaint that a lot of people have had that I agree with, and that is that considering Godzilla is the top billed character in the title of the movie, you don't really get enough of his screen time, or he really doesn't get enough like focus on screen time. It is more of like King Kong or Kong 2, you know. Granted, okay, Godzilla's had 2 full movies before this, and Kong only had Skull Island in the MonsterVerse. But I feel like there was a missed opportunity to explore Godzilla's sections of the Hollow Earth where he resides at and hangs out at. Which I'll get to in a minute. So, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably noticed from the trailer, if you haven't seen the movie yet, Godzilla is kind of presented as the villain. Which, you know, I think it should be obvious to just about anybody about 20 minutes in who the real villain is. And no, it's not Mecha Godzilla per se. It's more like humans are the real villain. As usual, you know, for movies dealing with forces of nature, such as Godzilla and, you know, the other Titans, or, you know, Shin Godzilla, or, you know, it's a lot of the other Godzilla movies, or just anything dealing with the, you know, environmental stuff. But anyway, sorry, I'm a little worn out from beach training with the guys from 50/50 MMA yesterday. You know, part of the Street Beast fam for the West Coast. Anyway. Movie opens with Kong at a Monarch facility. He's kind of trying to find ways to escape because now he's in a dome. A storm has kind of encapsulated Skull Island and killed off most of the wildlife and the entire native population, except for one little deaf girl named Gia, who communicates and has a bond with Kong. And she's like the biggest, most important part of Team Kong. Hashtag Team Godzilla, by the way. In case the mug didn't tip you off, which, you know, gotta shout out my daughter Annabelle for the mug. She got it for me for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. So, we start off with Kong, on Skull Island, and it almost feels like the beginning of Shrek. Um, he gets up and he's scratching his butt and showering under, taking a shower under a waterfall, and it's very Shrek reminiscent. I kind of wonder if that was done on purpose, or not, but who knows? End of the day, it could be either direction, but plot's very light. The plot is definitely aimed at moving the monster action forward. There's a lot of nods to the classic movies. There's the Hollow Earth expert that they have in this movie is a professor at Denham University. Definitely, obviously, a nod to the original Kong and Carl, the character Carl Denham, who goes to Skull Island to collect Kong. Bring him back to New York, put him in a show on Broadway, all that. If you haven't seen the original 1933 Kong, what are you doing here? Go watch that. Go watch the original King Kong versus Godzilla. Then go watch all the legendary MonsterVerse movies, starting with Godzilla 2014, and then come back here. So right off the bat, and I loved this right here, because this clip that I'm going to cut in, I'm not really going to do them as inserts this time. This clip right here was definitely one of my favorite things, because it was direct continuity with King of the Monsters. And just listen to this. You hear that? That, for those who don't remember, and the only reason I really noticed this was because I watched the other MonsterVerse movies like in a marathon the week I went to go see this movie. That's the Orca from Godzilla King of the Monsters, the device that was used to control the other Titans and awaken King Ghidorah, aka Monster Zero. Which, spoiler alert, they used Kevin's head and one of the other Ghidorah heads in this movie. The skulls specifically. Now, this is important, and this right here is immediately when you know why Godzilla is attacking Apex facilities, because he attacks a facility that this is stored at, and this is actually Mechagodzilla's eye. So Apex built Mechagodzilla with 2 orcas installed, so they could not only defeat Godzilla and get him to, come to fight it in the first place, but also so that after, if their plan was successful, they could control the other Titans and either kill them or, make sure they don't wake up. Very interesting device. Now, the only other real complaint I have besides Godzilla not getting enough time is the kind of missed opportunity with crap, I just lost my train of thought. I really need to script some of these reviews instead of just trying to free form it. So they it's not a missed opportunity, but what it really was is they kind of entirely forget to tell you that Ren Serizawa, aside from mentioning his last name one time, is Dr. Serizawa from the previous Godzilla films in the monster, Dr. Serizawa's son. They don't give you his motivations for what he's doing, although you can kind of probably guess if you've seen King of the Monsters. My guess would be that his motivation is to get revenge on Godzilla for the death of his father, who he probably blames for the death of his father, even though Serizawa sacrificed himself to save Godzilla after he was hit with the oxygen destroyer while fighting Ghidorah. So, again, though, they never really mention that. He's just mentioned by full name one time, and then the rest of the time he's kind of just the CEO of Apex's lackey. Millie Bobby Brown definitely stands out the most in this movie. She has the most personality and the most interesting character, other than Bernie, who's like a conspiracy theorist who is actually right about what Apex is up to. Now there's other reviews that pick all that stuff apart, so I'm really here to get to the fights. So we get to see Kong go to the Hollow Earth. The whole plot is that Apex sends this guy who used to work for Monarch to the Hollow Earth with Kong to find a power source that has a bio signature that's almost identical to Godzilla's. And the reason they want it is to give humans a chance against the Titans. What they really want it for is to give Mechagodzilla a reliable power source, because with the conventional power source supply that they have, or even their more advanced power supply that I'm assuming they were using, which is probably what they used to power the Hollow Earth aerial vehicles that they use for the expedition, it could only get to 40% power, fire its proton screen once, and was shut down. Now that scene was probably one of the more satisfying scenes in the movie, which I'll show in a second, if I have it. But right there where Mechagodzilla's being tested against a skull crawler, and just absolutely slices it in half, and then the gooey green yellow blood sprays everywhere. It was absolutely brilliant. So we see Kong go to the Hollow Earth. Now this is following the aircraft carrier fight, which obviously went to Godzilla. If you really think about it, Godzilla kind of won the whole thing at every turn, and is definitely the apex alpha titan for sure. Which makes sense. Kong is still relatively inexperienced as a titan. He's isolated to a small island, whereas Godzilla has been preserving the balance and protecting the entire planet around Skull Island. He's had way more experience fighting other titans, the Muto, the King Ghidorah, which he's fought before, way before probably people were even walking around on Earth. So he definitely had experience, definitely had more powers, and he definitely had the advantage being an amphibious titan, where he could fight effectively underwater and breathe underwater and fight on the land. Here's the clip for that section of the movie. Definitely one of my favorite parts, and they definitely didn't give it all away in the trailer like everyone thought they did. So definitely point to Godzilla there because Kong had to play dead to. In fact, they ought to play dead, and then they give you the little nod, of Kong from the one of the first throwbacks to the original Godzilla vs Kong, where they airlift Kong to the Antarctic to the Hollow Earth entrance because they couldn't use the boat anymore. I kind of thought that it was kind of a dumb idea to use They should have just gone to that immediately. They knowing that Godzilla was going to come for them, since they're both alpha titans and there can only be one alpha. But they had to have Godzilla fight Kong. I kind of like that they don't make you wait for it like they did in the original. They kind of get really quickly to it. Then we have, the Hollow Earth scenes, which was kind of amazing and spectacular. But what really stood out was the fight with Warbat, a giant snake titan, formerly referred to as Nozuki, and I wish they would have kept that name. We see a lot of other interesting life forms in the Hollow Earth, but this scene right here takes the cake. King Kong getting in a little snack. But then we get, what we're all really here for, which is the main fight in Hong Kong. Now, King Kong gets his axe in the Hollow Earth. I don't have a clip of that. There's a million other clips of that. You can find that anywhere. And they never really make it clear if it's actually Godzilla's a spine from one of Godzilla's species or not. There's multiple axes, and they kind of form a Godzilla shape on the floor in this throne room that was clearly made for Kong species by whoever used to worship Kong in the Hollow Earth. Because clearly there were people down there. And that was established in King of the Monsters. But, they never establish if it's one of his species spines or if it's just some kind of special rock from inside the Hollow Earth. Which, hopefully they do explain eventually, like in the special features or something. But might be a little safer to assume that it is, in fact, one of a Godzilla species spine. Simply because they established that there was a war between the two species sometime in the distant past. And the way that it functions, where it absorbs Godzilla's atomic breath and it gets charged by it, kind of also makes you wonder if the Godzilla species could supercharge each other by hitting each other in the spines, and then the one getting, charged could have an extremely more powerful beam. Speaking of which, we see Godzilla actually drill through to the Hollow Earth when he senses that the power source has been activated in the Hollow Earth. And that's how Kong gets to Hong Kong from inside the Hollow Earth. It's absolutely nuts. It's also a little underground magnetic shipping tunnel, zero friction, that Apex has from their Florida facility straight to Hong Kong. And that's how Millie Bobby Brown's character, Madison, gets to Hong Kong with Bernie and her friend Josh. Where they discover that Mechagodzilla is controlled via one of the Mechagodzilla, one of the Ghidorah skulls, and contains another Ghidorah skull because they have a telepathic link. And it's like a living supercomputer, so they're using it as a neural net, which links directly to Ren Sarazawa, where he kind of pilots it with his mind more than anything else. Which of course backfires after they get the power supply and fully power up Mechagodzilla. It starts thinking for itself. But we'll get to that in a minute. Now, my favorite part is obviously the best part is this fight right here between Godzilla and Kong, where Godzilla just absolutely just crushes the crap out of Kong. I mean, it's at first he's kind of just treating Kong like a mild annoyance, but after Kong gets a good shot in with the charged axe, as you can see. Which, of course, isn't to say that Kong didn't get a few good shots in. I mean, he definitely had a lot more agility and dexterity in the city fight. But I mean, this isn't just, it just wasn't one of those things where everyone has a puncher's chance. This is a giant nuclear powered dragon lizard god thing versus a giant mutant ape, and it's not just that. Godzilla has clearly been around for a long time, whereas Kong is still pretty young relative to the other Titans, and has way less battle experience with the kind of threats that he would need to have experience with in order to match Godzilla very well. Godzilla was mostly taking it easy on him for a while there, and then even at half capacity, pretty much, as you can see. dog washes him. So, you know, but again, Kong got his shots in. He got his shots in pretty good for a little while there. Of course, without the axe, I don't think he would have done as well either. I like the throwbacks too to the original Kong during the fight, like the scene where he's on top of the building, just waiting for Godzilla with the crane. And that was kind of the thing too. He tried to outsmart Godzilla a bit, but Godzilla is smarter than your average lizard. And I think that was a good little throwback to the American theatrical release of the original King Kong versus Godzilla, because they made it a point in that movie that Godzilla has the brain the size of a marble, and Kong is a thinking animal. Godzilla is definitely smart, definitely thinks as well, and it has a really good fight IQ and just battle experience. So, with that being said, my friend Ron wouldn't have liked probably how bad Kong got his ass whipped, but I know he would have appreciated how the movie ends. I definitely liked how they really leaned into Godzilla being more alligator-like, or moving more like an alligator. They just really leaned into the fact that he's reptilian instead of just being, bipedal reptile kaiju that pretty much fights like any bipedal, more humanoid creature would fight. It really made for a spectacular final round to that match. He absolutely goes like Super Saiyan on him, and this is after he's used half of his power drilling to the Hollow Earth. By the way, he's running on a half capacity, and just absolutely just mollywop, dog wash, just obliterates Kong. Then he goes to take care of business, because again now he's at like a quarter capacity. He kind of ends up in trouble when this happens. Now, of course, after that, we get, Kong gets revived and joins in after Gia explains to him that Godzilla's not the real enemy, Mechagodzilla is. And so we get to see an epic team up between Godzilla and Kong, and as seen here. And then, Kong comes to his senses after he tries to, defend himself against Godzilla again, even though Godzilla isn't even actually in close range to attack him. He just assumes it's going to happen again. He comes to his senses, puts the axe down, and Godzilla, gives him his space. And, happy ending, da-da-da. Kong gets the hollow earth. Godzilla gets the surface of the earth. And we probably get more MonsterVerse movies because this one has made an absolute killing, and in 1 week in the United States has made more money than it has broken box office records for quote unquote post pandemic, even though we're not actually out of the woods yet, and is the most viewed HBO Max simultaneous release in just 1 week. It actually has reached 3.6 million views on HBO Max. I've seen it in the theater 3 times myself. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you can see it in IMAX. See it in IMAX. But other than that, obviously Godzilla won. Godzilla kind of needed to win. One, because it just made more sense, power-wise, power scale-wise. 2, he's a titular character in this one, whereas Kong was a titular character, top build character in the original version. And, just the way Godzilla is handled in this universe makes more sense that he would win. In the original Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla was still a villain, which he was for the first 4 movies in the Showa series. And, Godzilla wreaking destruction is definitely something he does, very well, and is one of the best ways to present him. So him acting as a force of nature, trying to maintain the balance by going after Apex facilities for trying to replace him made sense, and was a good motivation. And, you kind of pick it up early, though. You kind of figure it out as soon as they show that eye. But other than that, great movie. I give it 10 out of 10 for the MonsterVerse. I give it, 10 out of 10 for, definitely top, 5 Godzilla movies ever made. Definitely top 3 King Kong movies ever made. And, that's all I can think of. Shinigami out. The drill. Buy my merch from Teespring. Got the shout out Rachel line that I just threw up. I've got some other designs I still haven't put up. I've been busy and dealing with a bunch of stuff. But that's where we're at with this. Go support Indy, who made my ending theme, my end credit music, and Ecliptic. I'm sorry, man, I can't remember, but it's he made my opening theme. Go check his channel out. All the links are in the description below. Heart in the Fight. Check out their Teespring store for the Shinigami merch collab I have with them, which has my face on it, doing the salute, the Kempo salute. The end of the Kempo salute. And like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for all notifications if you haven't already. Spread the channel around, tell your friends, and keep an eye out for me on Streamies, because I will be back soon enough. Shinigami out.
Shinigami, samurai master, straight up out the land of Lancaster. No one stronger, ain't no one faster. Turning the opponents into Caspers, ghosts, disasters. We don't do no waiting, where I'm from we attack them. Swift KO kick to the chin, leave them napping. Sniff, take a whiff, that's the smell of victory. Better fear, making all my peers' careers history. Big dubs, all we catch is big dubs. Karate chops to his tops, leave them big slumped. Humble beast, beefing in the street. We don't take no loss, you gon' catch defeat. You gon' catch a fist and some